morning show. Now, we know that last December, the Indonesian government has scraped its pandemic restrictions known locally as PPKM, which include mandatory working from home arrangements.
But thus, in recent days, a petition at change.org has seen a popularity boost after receiving over 15,000 signatures. Well, that's a lot. And the petition launched by Riwati Sidarbutar in November, well before the PPKM ended, calls for policymakers to consider making work from home, the office, as an option, or work from the office, excuse me, optional as people return to their pre-COVID-19 work routine.
Now, this sparks a lot of comments and opinions as well. So the questions are, why do many workers seemingly prefer to working from home? And then how productive would it be compared to working from the office? Now, to answer these questions, we now have Emancipate Indonesia Program Director Amalia Suri with us this morning. Good morning, Amel.
Good morning.
So, first of all, thank you so much for coming to the studio. But I know that there's a saying, home is where the heart is. Now, some might say, and to these people, this is where they prefer to work.
Yes.
But the problem is whether it's going to be effective or not.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the petition is signed by more than 23,000 as we speak.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So yeah, many people actually supported the petition, and they quick to jump. I am one of the few people that clicked right away, sign. When I first got the petition from my friends. It's because many young workers especially believes that working from home gives them more freedom and it makes them work effectively. Because if we read the petition, the reason why Mbak Riwati make the petition in the first place is because of the condition of the traffic jam that is currently getting worse, and also the uncertainty of the weather condition, like sometimes it rains very heavily and then suddenly it's just like scorching hot, so sunny, and in that type of weather, people easily get sick. So yeah, many people choose to work from home. Me personally, I love to work from home because I get to be with my cats all day.
Okay, I love that.
But that's not the only reason. I get to, like I said earlier, before the station, like I get to juggle things. I get to be more relaxed. I get to make my own breakfast before I do my actual job. If we work from office, usually this is how it went down, right? Like, we have to commute, and many of young workers in Indonesia probably go outside, coming to work from outside of Jakarta.
The greater Jakarta area.
With the train, KRL and stuff, maybe like 2 hours commute. And then when they got to the office, they are too tired to start working right away. So they probably chit-chatting with the coworkers and maybe like checking their email or doing the small tasks, and then when they finally ready to do an actual job, it's already lunchtime.
Right.
And then it's the same all over again. They go to lunch, and then it's not very effective. Maybe they work like effectively working in the office for like 4 or 5 hours. So many people.
Well, I'm quite curious though, because the nature of working before pandemic, it was like that before, and we all survived it before. So now, when we got the taste, I mean, we certainly went past through the pandemic, and we taste kind of another option that you can do working at home. Isn't it that we've already known that, once the pandemic is over, we're going to transition to endemic, that we have to do the same, routine again as we did before? Because we survived it before the pandemic. Why can't we survive it now?
I think people know better that there is a possibility to do the work from home, to do their work remotely. Especially nowadays that the Gen Z are in the workforce, and they love working remotely, right? And before we didn't really know that we have the ability to do the work,
to navigate from home.
Before it's never really a choice, but when during the pandemic that all of us have to adapt, Yeah, so Gen Z mostly they're happy with the working from home, but I mean it must be maybe harder for the older generation to adapt.
Thank you, that's us.
I was about to say that. Well, I might be the one from many that should work from office. I'm just old.
Yeah, I mean in my office it's like that as well. Like, like we, the younger workers, love to like work from home.
Yeah.
I mean the petition is asking for a choice actually.
Right.
So it's not like making work from home for
The
all.
whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, but for the workers to have the freedom to decide
I see.
whether, which one they prefer.
Okay, in regards to this, I might have some numbers here that I'm going to read out for you.
Yeah.
So several studies over the past few months showed productivity while working remotely from home is better than working in an office setting. Now, for example, Stanford University reported a 13% increase in productivity among 16,000 workers over 9 months. Now, could you please elaborate this? I mean, you should have known better.
Yeah, I read also about this research. So the experiment is in the Chinese company, Chinese travel agency with, like you said, 16,000 workers. And they make an experiment where there are workers who volunteer to work from home and there are workers who stay in the office as a control group. And after 9 months, the productivity increased up to 13% for those who are working from home. They get a lot more done. But then after 9 months, the company also estimated save about $2,000 per person working from home.
Right.
And because this great result, they decided to like give the freedom for the workers to choose which way they prefer, working from home or working from office. And when the workers given the choice, many, surprisingly, there are people that before is volunteer to work from home decided to go back to the office and vice versa. Those who before working from office decided to work from home. And usually the people that choose to go back to work in the office is the one that are not very productive at home. Yeah. And when given the choice to work within their comfort zone with their preferred condition, the productivity increased even more, up to 22%, I think. So when, I mean, it goes hand in hand. Like when you are comfortable working, you'll get the work. You get a lot more done. You know?
And it seems it's very beneficial also to the company with the facts that you just stated before. Now, finding that stability ground, though, I mean, for each companies or private sector that is going to implement this kind of act of having hybrid, one can work from home, one can work from the office. How can it be stabilized? How could the company be stable? Because there's two different kind of choices now. I mean, you have some of your employees at home, you have some employees at the office and whatnot.
Yeah, this is something that is kind of tricky to adjust and to manage. But I think with all of the technology nowadays, with Zoom and Microsoft Team, it's quite easy, I think, to manage all of that. Like, I have a friend of mine that is already working from home for like 3 years now.
Oh, really?
And their company decided to give them the freedom to choose if they want to work from home. They usually like go on, like they get on the Zoom in the morning, 10 p.m. to gather and like chit chat what they're gonna do around through the day. And then at the end of the day, they get back together and discuss again. I mean, it's quite controlled.
Do you think it's applicable to every sector, though? I mean, you know, maybe different companies. Let's say you're like in fashion, or you're in somewhat like different kind of like sectors.
Yeah. I mean, it's of course it's different for every sector, but there are many sectors actually that are able to do work from home, but they decided not to.
Now, what about gender perspective? Does this also influence this debate about work from home or work from the office?
Excuse me.
Yeah, we can definitely see it from a gender perspective as well. As we in Emancipate Indonesia like to do what we call a social media hearing. We believe that is one way to hear aspiration from people. And from what we saw, some women, like I didn't want to say many because we didn't really have the number, likes to work from home because they can juggle the domestic care work that are put on women.
Yes, yes.
Because in many patriarchal society, and sadly Indonesia is still one of them, unpaid domestic care work is still expected
to be done by
by women. So many women feels like when they are doing work from home, they can juggle, they can like turn on the washing machine and like do laundry while working and stuff. But also women with different background also like have a different experience. Because I also heard that many women are more overwhelmed working from home, especially if they have children. Because especially if they have children who go to school online.
You can tell me about that.
Yeah, because the burden of helping the children study also falls on the mother usually. So yeah, I mean the moment of working from home should be also a realization for men that the domestic care work is two persons.
Yeah, you can share it, of course. Yes, please.
I mean, hopefully from that, because the man is also working from home, they can see it firsthand how the domestic care work usually goes unnoticed. Like if they're working from office, they didn't really see what they were doing at home. Because many then like, you sit all day, but because they're working from home, they can actually see that, and hopefully there will be like raising conversation about the division of labor within the home.
Yeah, you know what? I like this. I like the further, the further that you can see throughout this, this work from home. Now I see it from your perspective, because before I'm like, no, I don't think, I'm enjoying myself working at the office, let's say, right? But I remember at that time, just to share you just a little bit, I have 2 kids. So in the morning, I have to be in the middle, 2 kids, 2 tabs, right? And different kind of, like, they have different subjects and whatnot. And then in the afternoon, I have to get ready to be on here. My baby was crying. I have to, and, somewhat because, unfortunately, my husband needs to go to the office, even during the pandemic, so he couldn't see all of that. But I guess it's good just finally to see a shift of culture, I'd say. Between the genders itself, you can find that kind of common ground or middle ground that I can help you more in the house and whatnot, because you're working, I'm working, we'll take the kids, we'll take care of the kids together. I'm enjoying this, by the way. But I still love to work in the studio, by the way, my producers. But in regards to this, we're seeing this petition, you were saying about 23,000 people already signed. That's a huge number. There's a lot of people there. Do you think that the companies or even the government would listen and approach this in a positive light?
Yeah, I mean, a petition is one way the workers tell their aspirations.
Of course.
Because if you want something, you have a desire for a change, you have to ask for it, whether it's with the petition or other things. Because if I want something and I ask alone myself, it's easier for the company to just dismiss my concern.
Of course.
But when we come together with the 23,000 people, it's very hard for them to just like close their eyes and pretend it didn't exist. And it helps because many bodies already responded on it, like IKADIN, and also the governor of Jakarta already responded. But yeah, the governor just saying they can't really make the decision because the end decision is on the company themselves, But they can make a recommendation of some sort because after everyone's go back to the office, I mean, the road is like just crazy. The other day, my friends was like complaining recently because her usual 1-hour trip is now like 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can go to Bandung with that many hours.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
like, why stay here?
You could hop on the train and then
There goes the electronic fee, by the way.
3 hours and you're in Bandung. But you know, you were also mentioning before we say goodbye and conclude this conversation. You were also mentioning about the Gen Z on this, Gen Z's take on this and how they could actually be more productive towards this. But there's also the constant problem and the constant issue that we've been facing and we've been hearing for the past couple of years about the Gen Z and the quiet quitting culture and stuff like that. And how far can it be guaranteed that with this work from home thing, that quiet quitting culture could be like eliminated or probably reduced?
Yeah.
Because as of that, the company cannot control it, the workers, because they're at home. If they're in the office, they could actually see the development and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, quiet quitting also comes from a place of unfulfillment because the workers feel like they do a lot more work than what's agreed upon the contract, but they didn't get enough compensation or appreciation from the office, which is why then quiet quitting is a thing. They decided to do the bare minimum. Like, I mean, myself sometimes didn't agree with the term quiet quitting because it's basically doing your job.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not quitting. It's doing your job the way it's written in the contract. It should be the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, but now with the culture, hustle culture, many are like competing to be the most
number
productive.
one.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we in Emancipate, our position are clear that the workers' well-being and welfare should be a priority. If the workers are given the freedom to choose how they want to work and given a good appreciation for what they do, I think there will be no quiet quitting. I mean, Gen Z, if we look at a survey, they appreciate more on the appreciation aspect compared to the monetary aspect. Like appreciation, not always monetary, right? Like it could be, I mean, a chance to like improve themselves and such. And Gen Z also value more on the inclusive workforce and supportive workforce. So I feel like if the company actually listen to what their workers want, things like that should be easily avoided.
The bigger the voice, the bigger the noise.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, I mean, thank you for coming here to our studio again. You have become a great voice for that Generation Z, and of course for this comprehensive talk show, I think, and we can hear from your behalf and your generation behalf too. Now we can get for our generation right now, both of us.
We know where this comes from.
Yes, we understand it now. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll have more updates from around the world when we return. So stay tuned with us.